I miss the sound of the rain. I miss its tap on the window and the drips that fall from the leaves of the trees. I miss the patter as a rainstorm begins. The rain has not renewed wild vigour to the streams. The mountain has lost its winter song. Its crescendo is gone. The streams only chuckle with quiet gossip, blissfully unaware of the dangers to come if their winter opera is not performed. One afternoon in early February, I took a walk along the track at the bottom of the valley below the farm, just to listen.
Quite a joyous sound, don't you think? It is at the moment. The sound of water, the sound of a stream. I'm sort of heartened. Come here! That it sounds so strong and happy. But I don't think it's got its winter song. Because there's just been no rain. And in the back of your mind, well, firstly, I think my eyes are different because I'm thinking about the garden and the lands and growing vegetables, and this is January and there's been no rain. And we're trying to plan a garden and there's been no rain. And then I walked with a friend and she was telling me the story of the fires that ripped through here in 2017. And I think, Bozo, I think I'd been comforting myself that surely this valley must have been protected, or, there didn't seem to be any evidence of fire, and I was completely wrong. The fire got right to the edge of the village. And she told me that this whole valley, it kind of came over the hill and swept down this valley and out to Tondela.
Even though the winter days were warm and dry, the nights were still cold and fires needed to be set. Yet still, concerns grew.
It's a beautiful day again today. It's gorgeous and sunny. It's meant to get, the weather forecast 14 degrees, but you go out on the terrace. I need to take a thermometer out there and work out how hot it really is, because it's just divine out there. It's divine, but it's now very worrying because we're just entering the second week of February, and we have had no rain this year at all. We're at the top of a mountain. We have had no rain. And I'm trying to think when the last time it was that it rained. It rained significantly the week that I nearly cut my finger off. If you listen to that story, you'll remember that it was a week of rain, of solid rain. And that was that week, which I think was early in December. I can't remember now whether we had some odd days of rain and rain was forecast over Christmas, but that was the last time that I can remember that we had a solid period of rain. And since the new year, we have had not even days or even showers or anything, nothing. And that is becoming rather troubling and worrying. I am busy now, get this, I am watching and looking at the weather forecast, and I looked at the long range weather forecast for here for the next week and a half, and it's becoming 16, 17 degrees, sunshine, clear, and you think, oh, how lovely. But now I'm like, oh my God, it can't be like that. It's still February.
Yet another day dawned, another dry day.
To get up. So it's not as hot today, but we still don't have any rain. I think the ground's wet, so we've maybe had some dew or something, but it's still not rain.
Dry days do mean that life can be lived outside. It's easy to move between the buildings without getting wet or covered in mud. However, the lack of rain in January continued to trouble.
Should we put your coat on and go? Shall we put your coat on and go? Thank you. That's dirty feet all over me. Shall we? Come on then. It's February, early February. Is it the second week of February? So we've had 10 days in February and 31 days in January, and I can't remember how many days before Christmas, but let's say 31 days in January and 10 days in February. That's 41. Can do maths. And still no rain.
I need to do my roots up, yeah.
As the dry spell continued, I delayed planting seeds, or buying plants, or thinking of plans for the garden. Then, after weeks of waiting, there was a change in the air. Perhaps this was the day that there could be some rain. It's a really still, really still day, and
lots of cloud around. And we have the very, very small hint of rain. It's only very light. But you know what? I think this is the first rain that has fallen since the new year. I don't know how long before then we haven't had rain. But it's so weird how life changes and how your priorities change yet. I think the word in the UK would be it's spitting. So if anybody knows all about that and what dinner ladies would say, it's spitting, everybody inside. Sorry, can you see the washing line in my head? I haven't got. So if there's drops of rain on the lens, I'm more than happy. I just want it to rain.
What seeds and plants I had put in the ground in my enthusiasm to start the garden now needed watering, which for parts of the land was a challenging logistic and not really sustainable if the drought continued for many months. We currently get our water from a tap, which is at the end of the drive.
Hello, my Brozo. It's okay, I'm back. Yeah. All right, stop worrying.
There is a well and a borehole next to it on the farm, but the pump for the borehole ceased soon after we moved in, and we've questioned the value in replacing it, given that both the borehole and the well are close to the open sewage tank buried in the garden. However, if the drought continues, we will invest in a pump to take irrigation water from the well, but certainly not for drinking at the moment. While I water the garden, I'd like to thank you for watching and listening to this story. If you could, before you leave, do give this video a like and perhaps consider subscribing if you haven't already. The lack of water and the dry winter has brought challenges that we had not expected to face this year in Portugal. So there will be many more interesting stories to tell, I'm quite sure. For now though, there is a little bit of hope on the horizon.
That. The sound of rain. Oh. It's not very hard. I thought it wasn't going to do anything. The sound of rain. I didn't ever think that in my entire life I would be so happy to hear the sound of rain. For just a few seconds, even that little dribble, it just got a bit hard. No, don't go away. You've only been raining for a few seconds. Come on.
The next day brought a day of fine, light rain, but not heavy rain. And we sat in the clouds for a while, and the ground was soaked. But it is still not enough to replace the dry weeks in the early part of this year. We need more water. We need more rain.